enemy. Something like this happens in our today's story. The story begins at the shore of an island called Malta, where we see a fisherman named Sam who was going to catch fish on his small boat. Moving a little further, he reached a deep sea from a small cave. After a while, the sea suddenly changed its weather, and a thick fog spread all over. Sam couldn't see anything, so he decided to go back to the shore. But then he suddenly ran into something with his boat. And he fell badly. He took care of himself, and then he saw a big and magnificent boat coming from a distance. When he came near, Sam saw that the name of the boat was Wallace. He went to the ship and called out, but no response came. So he decided to go inside and see for himself. First, he tied his small boat to the ship and jumped on the ship. He saw that the ship was completely empty, but still there were fresh food items. Then he found a radio and tried to talk to someone, but it was of no use. Now he thought of going back to his own boat, but as soon as he came out, he lost consciousness. Because the boat he had tied properly to the ship had disappeared. Then he tried to find his boat with Thay. Then he went down and took out some tools so that he could repair the engine. After a while, he fixed the engine and now drove the ship to the shore. Now poor Sam was relieved. He tried to ask for help on the radio again, but it didn't work. Later he started to pee in the sea, but suddenly a strong wave hit the ship. Sam fell out, but somehow he survived by holding the railing of the ship. Now he came up and went straight to the bathroom. But then the bathroom door closed on its own. He thought it might have been closed due to the wind, so he didn't pay much attention. But when he tried to go out, the door was locked from the outside. He didn't understand how this could happen. Then he took out a coin from his pocket and tried to unlock it, but it didn't work. Then he opened the glass drawer and saw blood stains on it and got shocked. Anyway, he took out the scissors and opened the door with his help. But unfortunately, nothing happened this time. Suddenly he heard the sound of the radio outside, according to which the cargo ship was moving towards him quickly. And now he has to turn his ship's direction as soon as possible. Then Sam looked out the bathroom window and saw that a very big ship was moving towards him. Sam took out his hand and burnt it a lot, but it was of no use. He tried to take his face out, but the window was too small. Suddenly he found a rope from the window. He threw the rope out, which hit the motor of the ship. This slowed down his boat's speed and saved him from being hit. But suddenly the rope got stuck on his neck. His throat was about to collapse, so he freed himself after a lot of struggle. He fell unconscious and fell on the ground. After a while, he regained consciousness and heard some voices from outside. He thought he was a human being. Sam called for help, but no response came. He saw that the rope had been cut and water had started filling up in the ship. Soon, the whole bathroom was filled with water, but he was surprised to see that the water was clean. He thought someone was playing a bad joke with him. He begged the man and said, "I didn't come here to steal anything. I came to see if anyone was here or not." He said he wanted to get out of the house as soon as possible, but there was no answer. He was thirsty, so he drank clean water, but it stopped soon. Then in the evening, he started filling water in the bathroom again. But this time he drank the water from the sea. He was very scared and started throwing water out of the water. Was there any less trouble that day? Terrible storm suddenly came in the sea, which started the ship to shake badly. Sam tried to save himself by holding things in the bathroom, but he was hurt and hit many times. The water level was increasing. He started cutting the canvas rope with a small blade. The blade hit his finger, and he screamed in pain. He couldn't take it anymore and finally cut the rope. When he came under the canvas, the ship stopped, and he took a deep breath. Then he closed the window and quietly waited. The next morning, when Sam's eyes opened, the water reached his neck. He pushed the door again, but the door didn't open. His hope was slowly dying down, and he thought he would drown here and die. But in a few moments, he heard the lock open. Then, as soon as he pushed the door, it opened. When he came out, Sam thought someone was deliberately torturing him. He searched around a lot, but there was no one there. Then he reached the ship, where he found many boars. He knew that the ship could sink at any time due to the water, so he made a plan. He made a ship by connecting a fuse to a broken door. Later, he threw the ship into the sea and went a little far. Then he waited for the ship to sink for a while. But nothing like that happened. Then he realized that the ship was not going to sink. Then he got on his ship and went back to the ship and repaired the part from where the water was filling in. After that, he made a Jogadu water pump and took out all the water. Later, he sent a lot of messages asking for help on the radio. After a while, he saw a boat coming from a distance, and his eyes shone. He immediately sat in his Jogadu boat and started moving towards the boat. But in a few moments, he turned back and saw the same ghost ship coming towards him at high speed. Sam drove faster, but he knew he couldn't avoid the collision. So he jumped into the sea at the right time. In this collision, his ship was shattered. Now Sam was sure that there was some evil power in this ship. Now instead of going back to Aeolus, it was better to swim in the sea. Then we see that Sam was still swimming in cold water at night. Suddenly something passed by his body, and he was scared. But this was just a cute dolphin. Soon some dolphins came and started swimming around him. Seeing them, Sam was also happy for a while, but then suddenly the koalas came in front of him again. As soon as he saw the ship, the dolphins got scared and ran away. This made Sam so angry that he screamed and told the dolphins to come back. Anyway, he was feeling very cold, so he had to go back to the ship, even though he did not want to. He immediately went to bed and slept with his blanket on. The next morning, when Sam opened his eyes, he felt very weak. Then he looked outside and found that the ship was going very fast. He came out of the room and saw that the door to go upstairs was closed. In a few moments, he heard a strange voice from the bathroom. He went there and saw that there was another way to go upstairs. He went closer and saw that there was a small lid there, which he had not seen before. He opened the lid and saw that there was a small storage area. But as soon as Sam entered, the door closed itself. And Sam was once again imprisoned. Then he heard someone walking, and he got even more scared. Sam tried to open the upper window but failed. Here we see that the ship was heading towards a small town on the seashore. There Sam was once again hearing footsteps, and he was begging for mercy from this person. Now he was so upset that he started crying. In a few moments, due to the lack of oxygen, he started having trouble breathing. And he was about to faint very soon. Suddenly, the small door opened on its own. Sam left the room very carefully and went straight to the ship. He saw that the ship had stopped on the edge of the city. And Sam jumped on the edge without any time to lose. Finally, he took a deep breath. He reached a city where no one was seen. He picked up a big iron rod and started looking for the man who tortured him on the ship for so long. But there was nothing except broken and deserted buildings. Suddenly he heard a noise from a distance. He saw that Aulis was walking again. He went closer and saw where she was going. But suddenly the ship disappeared and Sam was left alone. Now Sam was walking on the island without thinking. He had no idea where he was right now. After a while, he reached the other side of the island. This was the place where he took his boat at the beginning of the story. When he got to the ship where he disappeared, he was completely lost. That's when we see that there were many people there at that time. They were celebrating holidays as if nothing had happened. Finally, we see Sam sitting in his boat and leaving. And he reached the small cave that had a deep sea. From there, we see the ship again, which was waiting for its next prey. If you liked the video, then like it, subscribe to the channel.